Hello, and warm wishes to all my fellow Americans, wherever you live, whoever you love, and whatever you believe. My name is John Russo, and this is Stranded in Centerfield. In early August, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris as his vice presidential running mate for the 2020 election. Now, given the ugliness of our current political environment, it was no surprise when within hours of the news, misogynist memes about Senator Harris began to pop up all over social media. And the misogyny wasn't subtle. Many memes used obscene language to associate this accomplished woman with various sexual practices. One especially awful meme referred to the senator merely as Obama, thereby demonstrating that the author of the meme was not only a sexist, but a vicious racist as well. Yet another meme mimicked a Massachusetts billboard, which had appropriated the graphic design of the Biden campaign logo to rename the Biden-Harris ticket as Joe and the Ho. Now, before my disgust at this blatant misogyny had a chance to cool, the following week, I was assaulted by multiple posts calling First Lady Melania Trump a hoe for, of all things, redesigning a flower garden. When I challenged the self-described progressive who posted this nonsense to remove the language, he doubled down. He gave me all the reasons why he was justified in calling Melania a hoe because he didn't like her husband's policies. Now, for those of you who are Democrats, I would counsel you against trying to explain this away as a rarity. It is not. Women who are identified with the GOP have been targets of misogyny every bit as much as Democratic women. Now let's start, for example, with Sarah Palin. Now, I agreed back in 2008 that Palin was manifestly unprepared to be president. And this really mattered because John McCain was both advanced in age and he was a cancer survivor. Governor Palin had barely spent a year and a half as the governor of Alaska, and before that she had served 6 years as the part-time mayor of a small town with a population of 7,000. Her inexperience was fair game. But let's be clear, not all criticism of women is misogyny. But actual misogyny from the so-called progressive side of the political spectrum bore down on Sarah Palin quite heavily. Why did she wink during her debate with Joe Biden? Maybe she was being suggestive, insinuated some of my liberal friends. A meme of Palin's head placed on a slender woman's bikini-clad body while wearing boots and holding an automatic weapon made the internet rounds. And finally, and most misogynist of all, were those Palin critics who questioned whether standing for national office while raising a special needs child made her a bad mother. That last criticism was pure misogyny. It would never have been raised for a male candidate, and it was shameful. Almost as shameful as 10 years earlier, when prominent feminists defended Bill Clinton and argued that a White House intern, barely 22 when she engaged with the president in sex acts in the Oval Office, was not a victim of predatory behavior. The national bullying of Monica Lewinsky, the slut shaming, the body shaming, all of it ugly and rationalized as necessary because keeping Clinton in office was somehow supposed to be essential to the promotion of gender equity. You may not like Kellyanne Conway and her concept of alternative facts, which, by the way, is taken straight from Nazi propaganda guru Joseph Goebbels. But those aren't the grounds upon which she's usually criticized. She's usually criticized for her looks. You may also find Kayleigh McEnany infuriating. I know that I don't like her at all, but she is clearly intelligent, and I believe she is sincere in her religious beliefs. However, misogyny reveals itself when she is regularly called stupid, slut, bimbo, and my favorite, robot Barbie. And don't forget the relentless body shaming of Sarah Huckabee Sanders when she was the president's press secretary. Here's my point. When liberals use misogyny to belittle Republican women, it creates fertile soil for whataboutism. It immunizes those political players in the GOP, nearly all men, who promote vicious public policies that are misogynist at their very core. Policies that would limit women, confine them without choice to traditional roles that are deferential and subservient to men, continue to pay them less than their labor is actually worth, force them to choose between career and family, deprive them of control over their own bodies. Of course, reasonable Americans should reject the outrageous sexism evident in current GOP rhetoric when discussing the Squad, or Hillary Clinton, or Elizabeth Warren, or now Kamala Harris. But it's not right to fight back against that misogyny, to fight the women of the right with sexist tropes. It's not only wrong on its own terms, it does real tactical damage to the cause of gender equity. One last thing today. This coming Wednesday, Kamala Harris will debate Mike Pence. Now, many Biden supporters have been just really eager for this matchup as they believe that Harris, a very sharp debater and a former prosecutor, will wipe the proverbial floor with Mike Pence. I believe expectations have been set too high for Harris. Mike Pence made a career on talk radio, branding himself as a mellow guy. Rush Limbaugh on decaf was his brand, and he will very smoothly and very smarmily counter Harris's attacks. It will be a draw. And then the next day, we can all expect that Harris will be called nasty and misogyny will assert itself once again. That's all for this week. I'm John Russo, and I'm not stranded. Neither are you. There are millions of us Americans standing together here in Centerfield. Until next time.